What's going on, everyone? Zephyr here, and today I wanted to take some time to talk about Monster Hunter Stories 2 and just how much I've been enjoying it, just as a whole. I didn't have much expectations for it when it first came out. I had never played Stories 1, The closest thing I have to any kind of game like it would be Pokemon, but just from my impressions of the game, let's just talk about that. I mean, first would be the story. Story's just absolutely amazing. Took me around 60 hours to finish it. Felt challenging the whole way through, which was refreshing after playing the latest Pokemon with Sword and Shield. Just the ones before that in the recent years. I won't talk any story spoilers, but I will say that it was a blast, and I loved every moment of it. Next is just the amount of monsters you get access to in the game right now. I think is really good. Could there be more than the base, like 125? Probably, but they're going to be adding more in updates later on in the next couple of months. So I'm pretty good on that one. And then along with just the monsters that we have, they're super customizable. When you get into the gene system that Monster Hunter Stories has, where you can take genes from one monster and put them over onto another one, really customize it. It's like a min-maxing in Pokemon, but just a lot more fun and overall better, in my opinion. You can, as I said, you can move genes from one monster to another, regardless of type and element, so you can customize them however you would like. Means that you can have things like Rathalos, which normally breathes fire. You can have it breathe ice or water instead, as the element of the genes can change the element of monsters. Of course, this will only work for most of the early game, as the stat override with genes only goes so far until a monster's base stats grow high enough, as the element of your monster is whichever is the highest at the time. So unfortunately, you put a bunch of water elements on a, fire-based Rathalos, it doesn't keep, increasing its water element. It'll just increase the base fire. So it eventually will go back to fire, but it is cool in the early game with monsters. You can change their element. It even changes their color. Maybe there'll be a way that they fix this later on. Who knows if it even needs fixing. I think it's still cool though that it's there to begin with. And then on to the combat of the game, which I really enjoy. The combat Monster Hunter Stories 2 has. It's turn-based, just like the Pokemon games, but with a bit more to look out for in battle. At first it looks like you only have the simple rock, paper, scissors system it's got going on. But you do need to keep in mind the elemental type of monsters, and also the type of hunter weapons their parts are weak to. Like their horns, their claws, their tail. So you've got, the rock, paper, scissors system, which is divided up between power, technical, and speed. You've got their elements, and then you've got the weapons, which are blade, pierce, and blunt weapons. So you got 3 things to look out for with that. The way that the biggest rock, paper, scissors format that you got to worry about is with the power, technical, speed. Power beats technical, technical beats speed, and speed beats power. So just remember that. You should be fine. As I said, I enjoy it. You just gotta look, you at least need to be countering correctly with the rock, paper, scissors part, even if you're using, maybe not a quite effective weapon or element, because you can still get past that with armor skills that are in the game and talismans. Depending on what kind of perks you have on those, you can bypass the need for specifics until later on in a certain endgame dungeon, will have you be more specific with what you use. Talking of endgame, to not be very spoilery, there is an endgame dungeon called the Elder's Lair. It is a 10-floor dungeon, with the 10th floor being a secret boss. Each floor has a I want to say like an objective that you got to do, like kill monsters, break monster parts, and then it's got another like little trial thing where you gotta beat down the monster with the correct weapon type, element, and whatnot. So you just gotta counter them perfectly in a certain amount of turns. You know, I would say it's kind of similar to like a battle tower from Pokemon. If I had anything to compare it to, I know it's got its differences. It's not just, you know, single trainer battle after trainer battle, but you do still got to go through your battles. It's challenging, which is good. I do like that it's challenging. And then I will say, once you beat all 10 floors of this, you do unlock an even challenginger version of the Elder's Lair that will be much harder. I believe it's the same like objectives, but the monsters are just a lot tougher to fight. So it will put your build crafting to the test. You want to, you know, build the best you can with your monsters, your hunter, you know, bring in the best weapons, armor, talismans, you know, get the right passive abilities that you can get, and just really just dive deep into the customization of the monsters that the game gives you access to. So I think that's all really cool. I really, really love the depth that you can get into a game like Monster Hunter Stories compared to like Pokemon, where it's just, you know, oh, I've got like this status move and maybe like this attack, where this one's like, okay, I can take this monster and it's like base stats, and I can give it this whole slew of just like different abilities from like another monster and just take advantage of that. You know, you're not locked to the monster's gene type specifically. You can pull them from other elemental monsters if you want to, and just get different moves for that. That way, you know, you got like a power monster, you can give it technical and speed abilities so that it can still counter, you know, what it's weak against, which is, it's really nice, which I know you can do the same thing in Pokemon a little bit, but it's not as effective there. And you're usually pretty limited on what you can get. As for the final thing, is probably the multiplayer. You got like co-op dens you can do, and you do have PvP. The co-op dens can either be done online or local. You know, same as PvP, of course. But with the dens, you can opt for just getting NPC partners instead of like playing with somebody, you know, like right next to you or across the world or wherever, to help you out on these little co-op den hunts. The co-op dens are also a really good way to look for super rare monsters in the end game, as you can spend special super rare den tickets that you can grind for in-game bottle caps, is what the currency is. You got these little like Everden, you know, dungeons just littered across the map that you can go through as you're going through like story mode, and get the bottle caps through there, collect them, and then end game you can spend them on these SR tickets, because you will need 100 bottle caps per ticket, but you are pretty much guaranteed a rare monster every time you use them. So you can do that. You can you know, play through the PvP. The PvP now, it's got the same combat rules mostly as, you know, normal fighting monsters. You only get to bring 3 of your 6 monster parties, because you can have 6 monsters, and then you include your hunter for, you know, like a total of 7. But you get to bring 3 of them, and then you include your hunter character for 4. But in PvP, your hunter cannot target your opponent's hunter character. You can only target them with the monster, unless when you build up the special kinship gauge in the game, which then allows you to ride your monster and use like a super big attack, like a kind of similar to like a Z move from Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's kind of similar to that. It's like big, whole extravagant kind of thing. Looks really, really cool. You know, dishes out a lot of damage, but in this game, you know, depending on if you're, you know, winning your head-to-head battles with like the monsters with the the power technical speed. If you're beating them with the right one, you'll fill your kinship gauge faster, allowing you to get out those more powerful moves more often. So you got that to take advantage of. You got AoE moves to take advantage of. There are like some skill lock moves, status moves that you'll want to cure. Those, and of course, you only get 3 knockouts, whether it's your hunter getting knocked out or, one of your monsters or multiple of your monsters, depending on if you switch. Just either or getting knocked out 3 times will be a loss for you. So it's got a challenge to it, and with how you can build monsters, most matches can be pretty fun trying to guess how your opponent has his team built, because one Rathalos won't be the same as another Rathalos, for example. They could have completely different moves and abilities, so figuring out what your opponent's got to counter that is pretty fun. I'd say it's got a lot more challenge to it than something like Pokemon does. Just using it as the easiest example that I've got access to. But this is pretty much just like a first impressions of just how much I've been enjoying the game. Still enjoying it after 130 hours of playtime in it, and I haven't even done everything yet. We still got the updates coming out in the next few months. Feels for me personally, just because of the state of Pokemon, it just feels like a Pokemon game that I didn't know I needed to play, because I never played the first one. It was on mobile, and they have a lot of similarities, which really works for me, because I enjoy both. I enjoy Pokemon, no hate against that, but it's just been kind of dull the past few years. They haven't really done anything with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on it after 130 hours. I'm still having fun. Super happy I bought it to try. Of course, it's got a free trial. If any of you haven't got it or on the fence about it, I would say try that out. Your progress does carry over to the full game if you decide to get it. The only downsides I'd say in-game are you don't unlock multiplayer till about 10 to maybe 15 hours into the story. Because that you got to go through a story event that will end up unlocking multiplayer. So that's the only downside to it. But once you get that, you can really just get rolling with just fun stuff and just really dive deep into collecting your monster eggs, hatching them, swapping the genes over to another one. Because when you do swap genes, you do lose the monster you took it from. So a lot of the end game, I guess, would just be hunting down more of them throughout the monster dens and even the co-op. That way you can build up an arsenal of them to move genes. And another thing to note with the genes is if you have duplicates, you can level them up to 2 stars. So you got base, you got 1 star, and then you got 2 star. So you do got that to really, enhance the power of your monsters and, the customization of them. So, but that'll be it for now. Let me know down in the comments below how you are enjoying the game, your thoughts on it. Even tell me who your favorite monster currently is. Mine at the moment is just regular Nargacuga. I like him. Super enjoyable monster. You get him pretty early on, and his stealth ability is pretty useful in some of the dungeons that are just kind of tedious to get through. Or, if you get knocked out by a boss, sent back to camp, you just run through stealth, get back to it again. So, that's all for now. Subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.